Welcome back and Happy New Year to another predictions video where today we're going to be predicting the scores of week 19 of this 2022-2023 Premier League season. Welcome back, Nathan. You missed the last video, but you are back. There are games still taking place as we are recording this video. Aston Villa 2-0 up against Tottenham with about a minute of injury time to play. It has finished. Yeah, it's finished. Fantastic. And there's one more match, Nottingham Forest to get against Chelsea as well. But also at the time of recording, Sportcat 01 and Ferris 77 head the Super Brew predictions table. But let's just get straight into it by predicting the scores.
Okay, so first up we have a tasty tie on Monday at 5:30 between Brentford and Liverpool. Brentford getting a pretty nice victory against West Ham. Lots of questions over David Moyes at the moment. And Liverpool, fine form, 4 victories on the bounce, beating Leicester 2-1. So as a prediction for this one, I'm not really too sure. Brentford I could back because they have been grinding at results really well, but Liverpool have been sort of an extra step up ever since the international break's finished, so I'm going to go 2-0.
2-0, yeah. Well, I think Brentford will score in this one. Liverpool looking good going forward, however, they can't always finish their chances off, particularly in Mr. Nunez up top. Gakpo may provide the goals there. Depends on when he's introduced, of course though. But yeah, I fully expect Liverpool to go to London and collect all 3 points. But I think it'll be narrow, and I think they'll come away with a 2-1 victory because they're a little bit suspect in defence at the moment, Liverpool. Next up, on Tuesday, we've got Arsenal coming up against Newcastle. This is
the two informed sides in the league
against third. However, Newcastle, though, drawing their last match 0-0 at home against Leeds, which was a little bit of a surprise. Little bit of a surprise, but Arsenal going strength for strength. Another fine win against Brighton on the road. Plenty of goals in that one as it finished 4-2 in the end. Odegaard looks amazing at present. Saka again amongst the goal scorers as well. As for Newcastle, they're very, very difficult to score against at the moment. They've got the best defence in the league with just 11 goals conceded. Another clean sheet at home against Leeds, so not many goals in this one. It is in London. Arsenal looking supreme at the moment, especially at home. So I'm going to go for an Arsenal victory. It's going to be tight, 1-0.
Interesting. All I will say is Newcastle haven't actually conceded a goal since about the start of November. Obviously, we have had the international break, but that is a good start, that. But Arsenal,
Southampton rather,
different gravy, beating everyone by high margins as well. I think it's going to be narrow, 1-1.
1-1.
Next up, we've got Everton coming up against Brighton. Now, Everton, patchy. It was a good result against Man City. Jaunuary Gray, fantastic goal, may I add as well. But ever since then, it hasn't been the greatest of form. Whereas Brighton, you could say they've been inconsistent, but they've had some very difficult fixtures coming up, and especially that win against Southampton. I thought they played really well in that. Arsenal knew they were going to lose to them, just mainly because of the situation Arsenal were in, and in fact nearly came back as well. Same with Villa, who've had a nice resurgence and they missed a good evening as well. Only screams out for a Brighton win for me, this one, 2-0.
2-0. I'm going to go exactly the same as you, Nathan. Okay, Everton had a fantastic result against Manchester City. Travelling support at the Emirates from the Toffees was superb as well, although it isn't that far for them to travel. Yeah, a 2-0 away victory to Brighton. Brighton look really good going forward.
Oh, absolutely.
Next up, we've got Leicester coming up against Fulham, also on Tuesday. Fulham currently in 7th position. Who would have predicted that at the start of the season? Leicester, back-to-back defeats now. A loss against Liverpool.
Look at the fixtures they've had though.
They've had difficult fixtures. I'm actually going to go for a draw in this one. I think at home, I'm not sure how Maddison's getting along. I'm going to have to check the injury table on that one, but I think they will pull out everything they can. It's their sort of the last fixture of the festive season before the FA Cup third round next weekend, so I'm going to go for a 1-1 draw in this one.
Interesting. I'm actually going to surprise a few people. I'm actually back a Fulham win for this one. I was really impressed when they played Southampton. Yes, Southampton have been pretty dire recently, and Crystal Palace have been, 3-0 against Palace on Boxing Day. That's something to not sniff around at. There's something that doesn't sit right with me, Leicester, and especially considering the negative reaction coming away from that Liverpool game, I can only back Fulham in this this one 2-0.
Mitrovic missed a penalty as well.
He did as well. However, I think he's going to bounce back after that. Anyway, moving on. Next up, we've got Man United against Bournemouth now. Eric Ten Hag strikes again, benching Marcus Rashford for disciplinary issues, comes on and ends up winning the match. Absolutely hilarious, but he's getting the results out of them. And they're coming up against a Bournemouth team who, ever since the international break, Gary O'Neill obviously taken over as caretaker manager, got the gig till the end of the season. It's not been pretty sailing for him, has it? Not really scoring goals. Yes, they did destroy Everton before the international break, but haven't come back well. Yeah, I think it's going to be bad showing again. I think it's going to be another 2-0 loss for Bournemouth. Yeah, Man United 2-0.
I'm going to go exactly the same for you as you, Nathan. 2-0 to the Red Devils for me. Probably Rashford will start on this one. Hopefully he'll get another goal because he's in my fantasy football team, and I know he's scored something like in the last 3 matches or something like that on the bank. So yeah, 2-0 to the Red Devils for me. We then move on to Wednesday, where Southampton take on Nottingham Forest at 7:30. Now, Nottingham Forest away from home this season have been absolutely dreadful. 8 aways. They've played 8 times away from home, lost 6. They've scored 1 goal in those 8 fixtures, and they've drawn 2.
Feel sorry for your Doronzor.
Absolutely terrible from Forest away from them. And Southampton, rock bottom of the table, 5 losses on the bounce. So where do you go for this? Do you go for a draw, something like a 0-0? No. I'm going to give Southampton the benefit of the doubt. I think they'll get their first victory in 6 matches in this one. It's going to be close, but I'm going to go for a 1-0 victory to the Saints.
Yeah, where'd you go for this one? However, I do rate Forest a lot more than Southampton. Yes, Nathan Jones has come into Southampton. However, A, he hasn't had a transfer window yet. B, the morale in that squad is low. And C, if you look at the quality between the Southampton side and also the Nottingham Forest side, they are worlds apart for me. Nathan Jones really needs to be backed in January if they want to even have a sniff of getting into that 17th place. For me, they're going down at the start of the season.
They're only 3 points behind West Ham. So.
They very well are. But then again, West Ham are sinking. Wolves will go back. Will start to rise up under Lopetegui now. Forest are going to definitely rise up. They're going to stay up, I think, this season. Bold, but I think it's going to happen. So I'm going to go 3-1 to Nottingham Forest. Next up, we have Leeds against West Ham. Where on earth do you go with this one? Moyes looks like he's on his way out of the London Stadium. 5 losses on the bounce. Will it be 6 against Leeds? A team that I'm never really impressed with. Mine, they did draw against Newcastle, which shocked everyone, but they did it under Bielsa. They're doing it under Jesse Marsh as well, leaking goals. I'm going to go 1-1.
Yeah, excellent result that was for Leeds.
Yeah, I think Moyes is going to redeem himself in this one, as he always does at West Ham.
What, you mean they'll get a win?
No, I think he'll redeem himself by getting a draw.
Wow.
Yeah, just.
Yeah, but West Ham in all sorts of problems at the moment, not playing well at all. A loss against Brentford. Yeah, that was without scoring as well. And I think they're going to lose again in this one. Whether it's the final nail in the coffin for Moyes, I don't think it will. It'll probably be given another couple of game weeks. But I'm going to go for a victory to Leeds in this one. They haven't won in the last 3, but I'm going to go for a 2-1 win at Elland Road for Leeds. Then we move on to the 8 o'clock fixture where Aston Villa take on Wolves. Aston Villa, an absolutely fantastic victory against Spurs. It's only just finished, and Wolves narrowly being defeated against Manchester United in the last game week. Another tight one, but I think Villa will take all 3 points. So I'm going to go for a 1-0 home win at Villa Park.
First of all, good evening. Another victory against Tottenham. Very good under Jaunuary. Good start, by the way, for Aston Villa. They are coming up against a Wolves side who will take time to gel under Lopetegui. He's going to have this transfer window now, knowing the Wolves owners, they will back him too. So I think it's too early days to suggest what's going to happen. I think Wolves are probably going to go for a lower half Premier League finish this season and then really push on. So I'm just going to edge Villa on this one in the Midlands derby, 1-0. Anyway, next up we've got Crystal Palace against Spurs, an all-London affair. Lots of close matches this weekend. Palace sort of floating around there, getting the odd victory. Good one against Bournemouth on New Year's Eve. Losing against Fulham and Nottingham Forest as well. Not the greatest of performances, was it, from them? Whereas they're coming up against the Spurs side, surprisingly losing today against Villa, drawing with Brentford. That was another shock one, but they did just about beat Leeds. Very, very patchy for Spurs, but I think they're going to finally get another win, 2-1.
Yeah, I think Spurs will bounce back in this one. Conte will have them fired up,
Yeah.
particularly after losing at home against Aston Villa. So they'll go away to Palace. It is in London. Maybe the pressure will be off just slightly, but they do need to get into, or they do need Champions League football. Currently in 5th position. I think they'll bounce back, and I'm going to go for a 2-0 away victory to Spurs, because Crystal Palace's form is up and down at the moment, slap bang in the middle of the table. Then we move on to Thursday, 5th of January, 8 o'clock. We got Chelsea coming up against Manchester City. Chelsea got 2 matches in this game week. Manchester City, a draw last time out, 1-1 against Everton at home. Not too clever.
Yeah.
Playing Chelsea, who's always been kind of a thorn in their side. Last time this fixture, last season, it ended 1-0 to Man City. I think it's going to be a very narrow game, but I do think that both teams will score in this one. But I'm going to go for a 2-1 away victory to the Citizens.
Absolutely, yeah. Only can see a Man City victory for this one. Chelsea, very patchy form under Potter. I do think he'll regain his mojo, but as we've seen before, it takes time for him to gel and bring the right systems in. So I'm going to say 3-1 to Manchester City. Probably a couple of Haaland goals there. And then anyway, finally, moving on to the last fixture, 12th of January on a Thursday. After the FA Cup weekend, we've got the Chelsea derby, you should say, or Fulham derby, however you call it, between Fulham and Chelsea. Interesting one. Fulham above Chelsea. Who would have imagined that, considering Chelsea usually have the bragging rights in this fixture? However, I am going to make a lot of Fulham fans happy here. I think it's going to be a stalemate, 1-1.
1-1, that'll make Fulham happy then, will it?
Especially at the Cottage as well.
Yeah, at Craven Cottage, but I'm going to go for Chelsea victory in this one. If we predict a Man City victory over Chelsea, then I think they'll bounce back in this fixture. A week, 7 days after this, the first match of this game week. I think Chelsea have the quality throughout their side. Maybe they'll get a couple of defenders back in. Reece James is probably going to be, I think he is out for quite a while now, but they've got plenty of cover in defence. Chilwell might still be out as well.
Yeah. But
I am going to go for a victory to Chelsea, and I'm going to go for a 2-0 away win at Craven Cottage, which concludes our predictions for week 19 of this 2022-2023 Premier League season. As usual, leave your predictions over at the Super Brew website, link in description, and also the code is in there if you're not already a member or you're not already playing along. But Nathan, next weekend, Cardiff City in the FA Cup against Leeds United. I think they're bringing over 6,000 fans, which is phenomenal. Will there be a vlog? A vlog even?
There will be a vlog. Oh boy, I'm not looking forward to this one. Officially, at the time of recording, in the bottom 3.
We'll see what happens.
Yeah.
But thanks for joining us once again. Happy New Year once again as well. And we'll see you all next time.
Just wanted someone who would notice me. My whole life I just wanted to be somebody to be. Yeah, I just wanna be great. Yeah, I just wanna be great. Yeah, I just wanna be great. Yeah, yeah.